Guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come to talk to you guys about something that's been kind of bothering me in teacher culture, and I wonder if anybody else is going through the same thing. So that's why I'm making a video about it. So as a teacher, we try to be really creative, and sometimes we are creative to a fault. And one thing that I've been asked is, why do we stress ourselves out in keeping themes in our classroom? One person said, isn't the big idea is to teach them. It's not really to have all of these things advertised. It's almost like your classroom is an advertisement for someone else, and all the money that you're spending could be spent on some other type of incentives for the kids as opposed to decoration. And to be honest with you, I come to say that that's like really judgy. I think we come off as really judgmental as to what people want to do in their classroom and for their student. And I just think that all of us have the right to make that decision, regardless of your opinion or not. And to impose your opinion on people saying, I don't do it, that's your preference. We all have a preference in how we want our classroom to look and feel, and in order to create the essence or the ambiance that you want to. Some people think that having a theme would be more beneficial than to have bare walls. And I like to choose themes, and I'm not that creative, I'm not that crafty and stuff like that, but I want my kids to see something. I remember being in school and they had like your ABCs and just basic knowledge on the wall, but nowadays everything is so advanced, you don't have to have it to look the same like it did of days old. And as we're getting older, the generations that's coming up, they're much more creative, and you have to stay with the times and be creative as well. There's so many things out there at Target, on Amazon, and your teacher resource stores and stuff like that to really soup up your classroom to keep the kids engaged and give them some visual stimulation. I mean, not too much. You don't want it to be just a whole bunch of crap everywhere, but it's like they think that every classroom should look the same, and I just think that's silly, because we don't even teach the same, we don't talk the same, we don't operate the same, and every environment is different and your students are different. And I think we should be mindful of the opinions that we place. If you don't like a person that has a theme in their classroom, just don't say anything at all. Keep it kind, keep it cute, and keep it on mute. But if you feel like you have to tell someone, well, why would you have that on your wall? Would you think the kid's gonna benefit from that? Yes, that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because it's a reflection of me. It's a reflection of what I want them to. And when you have a theme, typically there's a saying inside the theme. Like for my theme last year, I went with like a navigation theme, and it was like we were the Navy, and we were going to be charting different types of territories, and some of those places was going to be really bumpy, but as a crew we was going to get through. And my biggest thing was, I had this big old saying that said, think higher, don't sink. So every time some kid was trying to give up, we're like trying to help them out and be like, okay, you got it. Oh no, this kind of lower level, let's think higher. It helps them to not just think on the surface, think higher, think above what you normally do, think outside of the box, think outside of the boat, think higher. And the don't sink part of that, we was giving them help, but also anchoring them in their learning, because I had an anchor up there with them, and I was just able to refer to that to keep that motivation going. It's more for motivational purpose sometimes. There's a lady on YouTube, her theme is the happy classroom. So if someone is sad, you're like, okay, we don't allow all the sadness in the classroom. You can be sad for a moment, but let's think happy thoughts. Let's think happy. And I'm going with the science theme for today, because I teach 5th grade now. I was in 4th grade, but I teach 5th grade now, and I want them to have outer space thinking out of this world, thinking above what you normally would do. That's same thing with my think high when it comes to the navigation thing. I'm just trying to make sure that not only you're just thinking of the world as you know it, like planet Earth, but think space, think Sky is the limit for all of your ideas and your thoughts, and question things. Question what's going on. If someone's just say one thing and you have a question, open up to that. Open up to with your mind and outside of the limitations of your own mind. So I think even if I was in high school, I still would have a theme. It wouldn't be as cartoonish, but it would be like a central quote that my class is wrapped around. Like even with that outer space thinking, the social skill that I'm trying to develop in my classroom is kindness. Opposite of bullying and drama that fourth graders had, I'm going to have those same fourth graders transition to fifth grade, and I want them to operate in the spirit of kindness. So a lot of my, at the top, I'm going to have hashtag kindness matters, or were you kind today? Something like that, dealing with kind. So every time someone is saying something negative, someone is doing something or to someone else, like I said, is that a kind behavior? And I'm going to talk to them about what kindness look like, what kindness feel like to someone else, and discuss when someone was kind to them, how did they feel about that behavior, and why wouldn't we want to reciprocate that back? So I think that is necessary. I think it helps build social behavior. I think that if you just have a Mickey Mouse theme in classroom, yes, it's cute, but when you get in upper grades, I do recommend that you do centralize it around some type of social thought that you can always refer back to if you have it really broad in your classroom. But other than that, I don't care what people put in their classroom. As long as they're not killing them kids, I really do not care what someone else decides to do in their environment, because it's their environment. I do not have any stakeholding in someone else's room and what they're putting up visually for them kids to see. And I think as a teacher, and just keeping it professional, I just think that we ought to respect each other creativity and space, and what we decide we want to do in our environment is what we decide to do. Now if it's inappropriate, and I'm sure I do not have to go down a list of inappropriate things like cuss words or vulgar picture and stuff like that. If they're not doing anything like that, let them be creative and let them rock on. And if you want to have black and white in your classroom and just have words that you didn't wrote with an ink pen, and you didn't go to the store to buy letters and stuff like that and make it kind of neat and tidy looking, that's on you. I actually went into a classroom before, and most of all of her charts and everything around the classroom was handwritten. And guess what? She got through the whole year. The kids wasn't giving her any behavior problem. It really did not matter that she didn't have such a fancy classroom. And it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if she's teaching. And it does matter that she's teaching. So I just wanted to get that off my chest about it, because it just really, sometimes we can be super judgy about how we're responding to people and what they're doing in their classroom. And I think we all should be encouraging and kind of treat each other with kindness. And when you go into classrooms, if you want to throw out an idea, if they ask you, and if they, if they're done and they ask you, what can I do here or something like that, offer your advice. Be open, be kind, be nice, and mind your business. Mind your business. And your opinion is your opinion. Everyone have the right to their opinion. You don't have the right to impose your views on someone else if they did not solicit that information from you. But we do have a freedom of speech, but people have a freedom to ignore. And at the end of the day, if someone decides that they want to do a theme in their classroom, and at the risk of you talking about them and this and that, I just think that that's very ignorant and not professional on our part. We should be encouraging each other, especially these new teachers that's coming in with their ideas and stuff like that, giving them help, a helping hand with things, or showing them what other resources that we have found. And I'm a fairly new teacher myself, so I'm not speaking from years of experience, because I do have someone that I know, and she's almost at retirement age. And she keep things kind of minimal and update just a few things, but she don't have to move too much of anything. She don't change around too many things, just student work, and she kind of keep it simple. And guess what? It works for her. She been in a profession and in that classroom. She didn't get reprimanded for anything, and it's her business. And that's how she operated. Keep less stress on you. And if you think decorating is going to cost you too much stress, I recommend that you keep it minimal as well. The more you go in with the open mind to teach, as opposed to having to stress about how you're going to decorate, the better off you'll be at teaching. When you get into decorating and stuff like that and it stresses you out, then scale back. And that's okay to scale back. You don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars at the beginning of the school year when you probably won't recuperate too much of that cost, and then put a dent in your household budget. Put a dent in any other budget that you're trying to. Maybe you want to take a trip. At the end of the day, factor in what you really want to get across in your advertisement inside of your classroom. And outside of that, you don't need all of that, and you don't need to stress about it. Okay? So I just wanted to come to you, talk to you about that when it comes to teacher culture and being judgy about thematic classrooms. Please leave me a message below if you ever encounter that, or if you are one of those people. Why we do that? Why do we think that it's okay to kind of judge if people are going to do whatever they want to do in their classroom? Okay? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.